Okay, sorry about all that fun, everybody. We've got Arie McDonald up first. If you have a question for her, go ahead and raise your hand and I'll call on you. Arie, we'll start with your favorite PJ Brown. Go ahead, PJ.
Hi, Arie, please excuse my laryngitis. Year 3, and I know you worked your butt off during off season. I had never seen anybody work so hard as you. Where do you think you've improved?
I would say my areas of being like a true point guard. Like I've always been a scoring point guard, but like just now, this is year 3. So I want to prove that, I'm a great playmaker, a great passer. I can make the reads that's necessary depending on how the defense is playing.
I guess
Go ahead, PJ, you have another one?
Okay, yeah. So how is it? What's it like? I know it just started training in camp, but how are you feeling right now with some of your new teammates and some of your teammates from last year? Like, how does camp feel so far?
The atmosphere is amazing. We have great basketball players, but it's not just that, they're great people. So, we're meshing really well. We get along. And so, it's nothing but positive vibes.
Mark Schindler, go ahead.
Hey, Arie. First of all, hope your day's going well. Secondly, what has your impression been of all the rookies so far? What has kind of the reaching out process been like for getting to know them and also seeing their game on court and how you guys are meshing?
Yeah, so what that looks like for me, that's just me, talking to them before we practice or after, or we're just eating together. So, I'm just getting to know them on a better level. I kind of know Haley already, played against her for like 3 years, but just seeing them on the court, like I already knew what they can do, but just now seeing them translate that to the pro level and I love seeing that they're not afraid to ask questions. They're always willing to learn. So, you love that. You love to see that from a rookie and just soaking everything in, just letting them know, like, it's okay to ask questions. Like, it's a lot of information you have to process. So, I'm just proud of them and I just can't wait to see them, like, once the games kick off.
Gabrielle Lewis, go ahead.
Arie, I know it's only day 3, but can you talk a little bit about the progression the past 3 days? Where do you feel like this team is already starting to grow, and what's the ultimate team goal for the training camp?
Our ultimate goal for team training camp was just to get 1% better each day. The coaches love to see, once they give out instructions, they want to see us apply that to, the next drill or when we're scrimmaging. But it's been crazy, like just seeing like the talent we have, and just when we're on the court playing, like we're going to be scary good this year. It's so athletic, just very defensive minded, and just we have a lot of scorers everywhere. So I'm just really excited about the pieces we have.
Howard Megdal, go ahead.
Hey, Arie, Howard Megdal here from the Next. Good to chat with you as always. Wondering for you, we saw from year 1 to year 2 a real jump in efficiency from 2-point range, especially around the rim. Do you have a similar jump, or sort of a next level skill that you think we're going to get a chance to see here in year 3?
I would say me just improving on that 2-point range, me converting, me shooting more middies, more mid-range jumpers, and just being consistent overall with my shooting.
PJ, we'll go back to you.
Sure. This off season, you also got a chance to sit right next to Coach Adia every day and watch and look at the game like a coach, like through her eyes. She's showing you, mentoring you on how to do that, as well as your other duties, of course, for the team. How do you think that's sort of added now to you as a player and what we're going to see on the court from you this season?
I would say just being behind the scenes with the coaching staff, just watching like film, like countless hours of films. Like I knew coaches watch film, but I didn't think they watched it that much. So just being able to, see what, we need to fix or correct, and just schemes for the games or the people we're facing. So I think me just being more, detail oriented, like going into games, film, scouts, all that, even myself working out. So you'll see that me, like my reading with skills and just knowing, like being ready for the next plays. I think you'll see that more this year for me.
All right, last 2 questions. We'll go back to Mark Schindler first. Go ahead, Mark.
Yeah. So obviously, with Danielle coming in, somebody who's been around for a while, who's been really successful in the league. Have you had kind of like, obviously you're already really established, but have you kind of taken anything from her? Have you kind of picked her brain a little bit about, some things that you're seeing differently or anything that you want to pick up on this year from her?
Not yet, but it's coming. I'm gonna pick her brain every day, game days. We're gonna continue that tradition with just Coach T and just 2 point guards. We're gonna continue that film session before games, and I hope D-Rob's ready for a lot of questions.
Okay, I lied to you. These are actually going to be the last two. Let's go back to Gabriella and then Nikias. Don't go at me. Gabriella,
Going
go
back to goals here, Arie, what are your personal goals on the season? And then what do you feel like the goals are for this team, especially knowing that y'all, narrowly made a playoff push or narrowly missed?
For me, personal goals for me, I would say taking care of the ball for one. I think that's my Achilles heel right now, just taking care of the ball. 2, just continuing to be a knockdown shooter, improving my shot everywhere. 3, I would say being vocal for me. I'm a quiet person by nature, but just coming out my shell more and more and just being that vocal and just being that voice that my teammates hear and that they're comfortable with.
All right, Nikias Duncan, we'll go to you for the last question. Go ahead.
All right, thank you. Hi, Arie. Not that the defense is different for you or anything like that, but last year really felt like you established yourself as one of the best point of attack defenders in the league. I was just curious to know, like, who were some of your influences or who are some people that you've had in your ear to kind of help you along that journey?
I would say Coach T for one. She always held me accountable when I wasn't ball pressure, and she'll like be on me, say war drill. But also just for me, I take it personal. So I feel like people don't really have to say much to me because I know that I'm going to take my one-on-one matchup very seriously. I'm going to have pride in whatever I do.
Awesome. Thanks so much, Arie.
Thank y'all.
All right, we've got D-Rob here. If you have a question for her, go ahead and raise your hand. I'll call on you. Howard McDonald, we'll start with you. Go ahead.
D-Rob, good to see you as always. I'm curious, you operate in a leadership role. What does that start to look like? What's sort of like the approach, whether it's the rookies you're seeing here, whether it's even Arie, who's in year 3, what is your typical first approach like for that?
Well, first off, hey, Howard, always good to see you. I think for me, it's just being myself. I feel like I'm a vocal leader. And so I kind of lead by example. And so that's my biggest thing is just showing them what it's supposed to sound like, what it's supposed to feel like, especially for Arie, with her being so young and learning to lead and all that. But yeah, we have a lot of people that can lead on this team. We have Mo, we have Nas, who's very, very vocal. I know that Shy will come back and say some as well. But I think that, they know what it feels like, they know what it looks like. And so just continuing to push them in that direction every single day.
Right, Mark Schindler, go ahead.
Hey, D-Rob, going off, kind of going similarly to that. I was wondering what your impression has been of all the rookies so far and how they're acclimating and kind of how your games are meshing.
Yeah, well, I think they're acclimating really well. The speed of the game is, obviously something that might be a little bit different. Sometimes the physicality, but I think they're adjusting well. T puts us in positions to do really well, and so I think that the plays that they're able to make. LA, her length is ridiculous. Haley's obviously can score from all over the court, and her size is working out well. Aaliyah has great size as well. So I think that they're finding their spots. They're finding their spots early, and I think that's good because it's building chemistry early.
Gabrielle Lewis, go ahead.
Hi, D-Rob. Just want to talk a little bit about Haley. Yesterday or on Monday, she said that you were her idol. She's talked a lot about it, Midi growing up with you on the wall. What's it mean to have that Midi connection? And then, just having someone who looked up to you.
Yeah, well, I love Haley. Whenever she was at Midi, I was making sure if I was home that I was trying to catch a game, see her in action. I was trying to go to pick up really push her because I saw what she had in her. It's really crazy to be here with her. I think it's awesome though. I know our high school coach is super happy. So shout out Coach Phillips. She's incredible. But yeah, it's awesome to be able to teach her and show her the ropes and see, where we both started and to where we're here now. So she's gonna have a very, very long career in the W. And I'm excited to be a part of it.
Jackie Powell, go to you. Go ahead.
Hi, D-Rob. Thanks so much for taking the time. I'm curious if you can describe what it's like to begin training camp without two of the main pieces in Ryan and Cheyenne, and sort of how you approach that as one of the leaders on this team.
Yeah, well, I mean, the good thing about, them being returners is that they know the system already. And so it's not going to be hard to acclimate them back into, practice and all of that. So it's a good thing that, they were here with T's first year to be able to lay the foundation so that when they do return, it'll be just like, tying their shoes all over again. So, but yeah, I mean, obviously it might be a little adjustment for me, learning where their spots are, but I think I've learned enough guarding them. So I think it'll be pretty easy.
All right, Nikias Duncan, go ahead.
All right, thank you. Hi, D-Rob. Zooming out big picture a bit, since you've been in the league for a while, it feels like the league is kind of shifting from, I guess, like a more post-centric kind of style to now you come to this Atlanta team. Ryan Howard's going to have a lot of responsibility on the wings. Alicia Gray is going to have a lot of responsibility on the wings. Do you feel like the Dream are kind of ahead of the curve and kind of modernizing their approach? Or how do you kind of see yourself sliding into that?
Yeah, I think that T has done a great job of building and creating an offense where people are able to thrive and completely be themselves. And I think that's, when you're given the freedom to play how you want to play and do what you want to do and be good at what you're good at, I think it's a lot of fun to play with the people that you're playing with and for them as well. And yeah, I just see myself, Aries quick, fast guard, and I feel like I'm gonna be doing the same thing, pushing the ball, finding people in their spots, taking my shots when I find my spots within the offense. And like I said, I think that's the freedom that T gives us, is to really be able to play our games. She's not trying to make us into anybody else. And we're going to be fast and we're going to push the ball.
All right, we're down to the last few questions here. Let's go to PJ Brown first. Go ahead, PJ.
Hi, please excuse my laryngitis. It's great to finally talk to you. And what are you seeing now in Arie McDonald, who is now in year 3? And how do you think she's really coming into her own at this point?
Yeah, well, I mean, Arie for the past 2 seasons has been a really great scorer, really great defensively. I always remember watching her guarding the best players on each team, especially the best guards. And so you don't take that lightly, especially as a young player. It's an honor to guard those type of players. And so, yeah, I'm seeing her continue to grow into that, be more of a vocal leader. I guess, they say that she's quiet. I haven't heard her be quiet for the last 3 days. So I think that she's doing a heck of a job leading in a way that she can. And a lot of it, I think, is how hard she plays. Arie plays so hard every single possession, and her teammates feed off of that. And I think that we'll be able to follow her example like that every single day, because she's never tired, I feel like.
Mark Schindler, we'll go back to you. Go ahead.
Hey, so during your intro presser, when the trade first happened, you talked about just being really excited to get back to a competitive environment and being in a place where you guys are focused on making the playoffs. I wonder, just what that feeling has been like and getting to be in, now that you're in training camp, kind of getting in the heat of that, what that has felt like compared to, like past teams that you've been on.
Yeah, well, I feel like there is an eagerness and a want, like a deep, deep want to get there. Like I said, I think the foundation was laid last year, but there's definitely a hunger to make the playoffs. I mean, it's not something where it's like they're pushing us to get it. I think internally as a team, it's something that we're striving for. And so we know we have the talent. I think we work hard enough. And so we just got to put it into gameplay. I think T talked about losing so many games last year by under 10 points, which is always hard. You feel like you fight and compete every single possession just to, lose by maybe 1 or 2 or 3 or whatever. So that's always hard. And so we're looking forward to this year and hopefully turning some of those losses to wins and having a better record and then seeing what happens from there.
All right, back to your friend Howard. Go ahead, Howard.
Hi, Diva. My question is about the big picture ranking of assists in the history of the league. You are 13th. You passed Dawn Staley, Teresa Weatherspoon, Brianne January last year. You are 47 assists away from passing a Tanisha Wright. I'm just wondering if you could sort of
Coming for her.
talk to me about just, what it means to be, on that list and among, these players who are, your contemporaries and the people who have done it the best, the longest. And yeah, if you plan to celebrate, when you pass Coach T.
Honestly, I didn't know about any of that until like when it happened last year. So it is an absolute honor. I mean, the people that have played before me have been incredible. A lot of great people on that list. And so, yeah, I mean, I'm definitely coming forward now that you said that. And when it happens, hopefully there's video of me talking to her about it. But I mean, having played with her and against her, I'm not surprised that she's as high as she is. T was a freaking phenomenal teammate, a phenomenal competitor. And so it'll be an honor to pass her for sure.
I am definitely saving this video for when that happens. We'll show her. Last question. Let's go to Gabrielle Lewis. Go ahead.
Two-parter here. First, your personal goals on the season. And then, I know this is early days, but you're kind of coming in, from another group and watching this team. Where do you feel like the ceiling is for this team?
Yeah, well, I'll answer the second part first. The ceiling is very high for this team. I think, like I said, I think there's an internal will that we're really pushing ourselves, wanting to be great. And so when you have that kind of internal push within the team, like it doesn't have to come from the coaches, doesn't have to come from upper management. I think you really put yourself in a good position to be successful. So hopefully, we do some great things this year. And for me, I would say lead as much as possible, play my game. I definitely want to shoot the 3-point shot better. I feel like I really worked on it this off season. And so when those opportunities come, I really want to knock them down and help the team. So I would say those are my biggest goals for sure.
Thank you.
Awesome. Thanks, D-Rob. Thanks, everybody. Appreciate
Thank
it.
you guys.